What's up, guys? Episode number 19, Take on New York Sports. Recording this on February 2nd. Anthony Heaton here with you, as always. Instagram, Twitter, Take on NY Sports. And we are starting out today with the New York Rangers. More specifically, Tony D'Angelo of the, I guess technically still the New York Rangers, but not for long. So they win 3-1 last night against Pittsburgh, which was nice to see. Igor played a great game. Defense played really well. Igor gave up that, I don't want to say it was a terrible goal, but there's no reason he should have overplayed that shot going wide like he did, because that just brought him right out of position, and Jason Zucker had the open net pretty much at that point, so he was able to just bank it in. But overall, he played great, which again leads into, what do we do on Thursday against the Capitals? Are we doing the back and forth like Quinn said? But Tony D'Angelo he cleared waivers, was placed on waivers, cleared waivers. So basically now he's technically, I guess, assigned to the taxi squad. Now, Gorton said he's played his last game with the Rangers. So, for all you Tony D'Angelo haters out there, I know you're probably throwing a party right now. Now, Tony D'Angelo, the player, and Tony D'Angelo, the person, are two different things. At least they were. But his awful play is the main reason, according to the Rangers front office, that they're going to trade him for whatever they can get. They're going to have to eat salary, but he's gone. He's never going to play again for the Rangers again. Gorton told him that, I think it was after the second game when he got benched, he was a healthy scratch. He said, because apparently Tony didn't take it too well, which I guess, I don't know. Do you blame him for not taking it well? You don't know the specifics of it, so that's why it's hard to really get on him. Did he bitch and complain for a minute or two? Okay, you expect every player to do that. But you also have to take it and, learn from it, build on it, get better, and this way it doesn't happen to you again. But he told him that if that kind of crap goes on again, he's going to waive him. And Gorton, as a man of his word, he waived him. Now it's just a matter of finding that, that right match. Because he's a gifted offensive defenseman. We know that. Very good skater. Can't play defense, though. And for some teams, maybe the Penguins, where their defense has just been, decimated by injuries, would they take a flyer on him? Again, they're going to get him a lot cheaper than what his salary is. I think he's 2 years. He's got like a $4.8 million cap hit per year. So the Rangers probably going to have to eat half of that. Which, whatever. If you can do that, you still save a little money this year. And, the biggest thing is he's off the team. Now, as fans of the team, how do we look at it? You just signed this guy to a 2-year deal after you tried to trade him in the offseason, but you couldn't. Now, Gorton said, once we signed him, we traded for him, coming over from the Coyotes, we did our homework, we knew about his past, and we were okay with that. Okay, obviously, I don't know, not that I'm some sort of professional here or anything, but maybe he needs some sort of anger management, something, I don't know, to kind of get his head back on straight. And he's always been a hothead. And as everybody's heard by now, he basically came off the ice, whether it was in the locker room, with a tunnel, or whatever, because there's 15 million different stories about it. But he was yapping at Georgiev after they blew that overtime game. And, Georgie didn't take to it well, which he shouldn't. And, you hear, Kreider punched him, then Keandre Miller broke it up, and all this other stuff. But I think the overall consensus of what happened is that D'Angelo was bitching and complaining, Georgiev didn't like it, and there was a little get-together. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. So D'Angelo's out. Where does he go? Who knows? But whatever. So far, we're 1-0 in the post-D'Angelo era. So I guess right now, Gordon looks like a genius. But yes, the Rangers did play much better. You hope it continues. Obviously, it was only one game. But now going forward, we got Washington supposed to play the Devils on Saturday. That game has been canceled. The whole COVID, issue with the Devils, which now that turned into the Sabres. We'll get into that in a minute. But we got to play the Bruins a couple times now, Philly, Washington. So we had our little, Islanders, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, and now it's the big boys. And I don't know. Let's see how we do. But yeah, back to the COVID. First thing is Kakko was listed on the COVID list last game. Now, Gorton says he's fine. So to me, that means he didn't test positive. Maybe he was around somebody, whatever the situation was. But you always got to be extra concerned with Kakko because he is a diabetic. He's one of those higher at risk people that, God forbid they get it. You really got to watch and see what develops. But then having the Devils on Saturday, we were supposed to play them at 1. It's been canceled. The Devils, I think it was Palmieri, tested positive right before the game, or they couldn't get his results back in time, whatever it was. But he played, and I think I forget who it was. There was a couple players, though, and they played against Buffalo. And then if, the NHL found out afterwards, a bunch of them tested positive. Now they're shut down for a week. Buffalo now saying, what the hell? How the hell are these guys allowed to play us when before the game there was, whether the contact tracing couldn't get done in time or whatever the issue was. Because now there's thoughts of, okay, the Devils players gave it to Buffalo. And now Buffalo's, they got to shut down for a couple days at least until everything gets squared away. So it's a big mess right now, but hopefully it's just a week. Hopefully not too many people have it. And, we can get past this and keep on trucking. But good win for the Rangers. Let's see how they do coming up against Washington, like we said. Going to be tough. And how about Washington? They just had their first regulation loss in the last game against Boston. And I think they were up 3-0 in that game, too. And Boston just steamrolled their way back to win 5-3. So Washington, without Henrik Lundqvist, of course, is they look like the real deal. And their rookie goalie, not what's his name? Samsonov? The other kid, I forgot his name, but he was like rookie of the month or something. Trying to find it now because that is pretty impressive. Yeah, here we go. The Capitals goalie, what the heck's his name? I don't even know how to say it. Vanacek? I don't know, but that's a pretty good deal. Not even expected to play this year. And then Lundqvist goes down, obviously, with the heart issue. And boom, his first go-around in the NHL. Rookie of the month. Good start for him. We're going to switch gears real quick to baseball. First, we say congratulations, Dustin Pedroia. Great Red Sox career. Obviously, I hated him as a player, being a Yankee fan. But he was a tremendous player. He was one of those, I'm not comparing him skill-wise to Jeter, so everybody relax, but one of those Jeter-type players where he gave it 100%. Every at-bat, every pitch, every play, he was the heart and soul of that team for a while. Obviously, you had Manny there and Ortiz and everything, Varitek, but he was tremendous. And I think he finishes with a 298 career batting average, 299, something like that. But yeah, he was, I think it was his knees, a bunch of injuries the last couple of years of his career, and he just couldn't get back on the field. So he finally decides to call it quits. Congrats to him on a great career. The Tampa Bay Rays have brought back Chris Archer on a reported 1-year, $6.5 million deal. Now, that's like $30 million in Tampa Bay land because they don't pay anybody that sort of money. As you can see, they let Charlie Morton go. They traded Blake Snell. And now they bring back Chris Archer, who had his best years in Tampa, traded to Pittsburgh, and just didn't do anything. So he's back to Tampa, who was, apparently now the stories come out, they were hot for Kluber and Jameson Taillon. Obviously both going to the Yankees, but I think that was their mentality, high risk, high reward players, on a lower end salary. I'm sure the $11 million Kluber got was too much for them though, but they were in on them. So instead they go to Chris Archer, and the big trade that has gone down, Nolan Arenado, the best third baseman in the game, the best defensive third baseman in the game, tremendous all-around player. He gets traded to the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, okay, you understand, say, the Indians, Francisco Lindor, that situation, they weren't going to be able to extend him and afford him. Okay, they trade him, they got what they could. I know the Arenado situation's a little different because he has 6 years, $150 million left on his contract, whatever it is. But for the Rockies to give the Cardinals $50 million on top of trading, the best third baseman in the game, it's just mind-boggling to me. You're doing it because you can't afford to pay him, supposedly, whatever, even though you guys gave him the contract. But then you're going to give $50 million of his salary on top of that, 1/3 of what he has remaining. I mean, God, it just makes no sense. And again, I get $50 million versus $150 million. That's fine. But you got to have a competitive product on the field. I don't know. It's always frustrating when you hear stories like that. And it makes me, what's the word? Just giddy to be a Yankee fan. Because that kind of crap would never happen. You want to say big market versus small market, whatever. It doesn't matter. The Mets are a big market too. And, not that they've made trades or moves this stupid, but I don't know, man. Arenado plus $50 million, I'll take him. No offense to Gio Urshela, but the guy's won a Gold Glove, I think, every single year he's been in the league, like 8 straight Gold Gloves. But we're going to, speaking of the Mets, former Met manager Mickey Callaway. Okay? We know what happened. Let's get into it a little bit. Over a 5-year period with 3 different teams, because he's now the Angels pitching coach, and 5 different women, supposedly. I want to read this so I can make sure I'm getting everything correct here. Let's see. It included, and again, he sent, rude and lewd and just ridiculous text messages and, made gestures at women, reporters, all that sort of stuff. The same thing that happened with Jared Porter, the former Met GM. So let's see. Sending shirtless photos of himself and asking one journalist for nude photos. Okay, that's good. He also allegedly told one reporter he'd give her inside information about the team in exchange for going out for drinks. Bro, come on. You're that hard up to go out for drinks with somebody? Now, I'm pretty sure he's married anyway. I'm not 100% sure, but, whether he is or not, that's a moot point. Also says that, this is a good one, right? He, quote, thrust his crotch near the face of a reporter as she interviewed him. Like, dude, come on. 45 years old. I mean, a 16-year-old, an 18-year-old, maybe, but come on, dude. 45 years old. Like, first of all, you're coming off like you're God's gift, okay? Meanwhile, you just look like an ass. Now, he has been suspended, which is not surprising, obviously. The Angels, they just said, late yesterday we were made aware of the allegations reported in The Athletic. This morning we suspended Mickey Callaway, and we will work closely with MLB to conduct a full investigation. I don't know. And again, this isn't the Mets' fault, but it's just, I don't want to say Met-like, but you feel bad for him almost, because again, it's not anything directly of their doing, but in the last, however many, let's say 2 years now, you hire a manager, fire him before the season even starts. Beltran, obviously. You bring in a GM after you get new ownership, and you find out all the crap that he did, so he's gone before he ever even reaches the regular season. And now your former manager, current pitching coach for the Angels, did the same thing. It's disgusting, first of all. Like, and again, I go back to it, like, you got some nerve, man, thinking that, you're God's gift to women, and you could just put yourself out there like they're going to come begging after you. Relax, Mickey, okay? But anywho, the MLB owners and I guess Rob Manfred, since he works for the owners, proposed starting the MLB season a month later, around April 29th, having a 154-game season as opposed to 162, still full pay for the players, and universal DH, and 7 teams in each league for the playoffs. The Players Union said, go kick rocks. We want to start spring training, which pitchers and catchers for the Yankees is in like 12 days. I'm like, if I could do a cartwheel or a backflip right now, I would. Because I'm so fired up this year for baseball, as I am every year. But, and they said, no, we're starting on time. And that's it. 162 games, let's go. So they didn't even counter offer, which is great. Now again, after this season, I believe the collective bargaining agreement is up. So, can we see a work stoppage in the future? God, I hope not. And, because that'll just be the Yankees' luck, selfishly again. Garrett Cole in his prime. We get a shortened season because of the damn pandemic, and then we'll lose a season or whatever because of the collective bargaining agreement. But, less than 2 weeks from now, pitchers and catchers, let's go. And as far as the fans, you got to give me fans in the stands. You have to. You see in the NFL, not every team, because obviously each state has different restrictions, blah, blah, blah. But there's been, let's look at New York, first of all. Buffalo had 7,000 fans or whatever it was for their playoff games, and it worked out. You know, they did the testing beforehand, whatever the situation was. I can kind of get hockey a little bit because it's obviously enclosed. Even though that hasn't stopped the NBA in certain cities, like Atlanta the other night with LeBron. And, the fans are sitting courtside. Like, if you could have fans sitting courtside, I don't care what state it's in, because the damn COVID-19 is all around. I know some states are worse than others, but if you could have fans sitting courtside inside an arena, there's no reason you can't have, I won't even get crazy and say 50% of these stadiums filled. Say 25% to start. Okay, so that's like 12,000 people in Yankee Stadium. You can't separate 12,000 people into little groups. Come on, there's no excuse. I don't want to hear nothing from Cuomo or any of this crap. No, there's no excuse. Citi Field, Yankee Stadium, there better be fans in the stands. Started at 25%, like I said, but there damn well better be fans in the stands. None of this cardboard cutout crap. Let's go. All right? All right, that's my little coronavirus rant. Hey, there's a football game on Sunday. The Super Bowl 55. And it is the greatest of all time. You can't argue, Tom Brady. And maybe in 20 years, the new greatest of all time, Patrick Mahomes. You know, the kid versus the GOAT. And Tampa, fast, ferocious defense. KC, stacked offense. Best quarterback in the league right now in Mahomes. Who do you got? I'm going KC to repeat. Now, if Brady goes in there, does his thing, and Tampa wins, will I be shocked? No. He just never ceases to surprise me. But I can't see Kansas City not winning this game. I mean, you give the Bucs a ton of credit for even getting there. The NFC was weak this year, though. Not to take that away from them, though, because, hey, you got to play who's, on your schedule. But I don't see Kansas City losing this. And either way, I think it'll be a close game, but, we'll see. I think Mahomes gets number 2, and then he'll be the youngest player ever, I believe, to have 2 Super Bowl victories. He's like 25 or whatever. Kid's ridiculous. Not much going on with the Knicks right now. They blow a game in Chicago last night. I don't know. There's a lot of promise there, a lot of excitement, a lot of things and players to be excited about. But I don't know. It's fun to watch most nights, but then other nights it's like, come on, guys, how do you lose to these certain teams? And again, I know they're young, they're learning to play with each other and everything, but you got to see more consistency. And, that's the bottom line. They're growing, they are getting better, that's great, but eventually you got to start winning games. And if it's not this year, okay, it's got to be next year. You got to start winning some games. Brooklyn, they're doing their thing, the big 3 over there. It's just basically what seed are they going to get? And, they don't even have to play defense. Because with those 3 scorers, Durant, Kyrie, and Harden, obviously, they can just, they might win every game 160, 159. Okay? If that's how they have to play to win, that's how they have to play. Because they can put up points with anybody. Anybody. So it's just basically, where do they finish in the Eastern Conference? And it's just, playoffs for them. And seeing how they can do. The Knicks, would it be nice if they squeak in? Yeah. Is it likely? No. But that just leaves us wanting more for next season. Then we'll see how it goes. Probably not going to do a show again this week. So we'll touch base again probably Monday We'll see how the Rangers do against the Capitals Thursday. And we'll talk some Super Bowl and get ready for baseball, spring training. Even though it doesn't feel like it, with New York just getting hit with, what did we get? I think out here on the island we got, right around a foot. Some spots more, obviously, but I think the city got 18 inches, something ridiculous. I don't know. Enough of the snow. But until next week, guys, be well.